Two legendary car brands make their way to the grid this year. Let's talk about them. Ciao friends and welcome back to 2sex Ted. Aston Martin do launch their car today, it being the 3rd of March 2021. But we have unfinished business from yesterday. Alpine also launched their car after Mercedes did in the world's laggiest livestream. I don't know how they managed that. Normally I would blame YouTube because they've been having a lot of issues lately. But the fact is it was problematic on every single version of the livestream. And there were like 3 or 4. So I think it was an Alpine problem. They didn't manage to livestream correctly what was basically a pre-recorded video. Now you would think these two names, being new to the grid for 2021, would be two of the most interesting to talk about. But no. Both Alpine and Aston Martin managed to leak their cars so thoroughly that we basically already knew what they'd look like. Sean Bull, who actually designed the Alpine, already posted a picture of his design concept for the car. And Aston Martin have had so many leaks that I'm recording this before they've launched it because I'm so confident I already know what it looks like. The Alpine, incidentally, which I will put up pictures now, is fundamentally what we expected. It's the winter testing livery but with blue instead of black and a few other flares here and there, usually thanks to sponsors. We got to hear Esteban Ocon say that the new colour scheme of the A521 made him proud to be a Frenchman. Stellar acting work there from number 31. And it does say 31 now, unlike last year's car which said 37. The RS20, last year's Renault, was my favourite livery on the entirety of the grid, and quite frankly the Alpine so far has not disappointed. It is stunning. I believe that the car makes its first outing on track today, so I haven't seen any pictures from IRL just yet, unfortunately, but I imagine it looks brilliant. The French flag on the nose making a return from the launch Renault RS20, which was replaced by the We Race as One flag instead by the time the RS20 actually made it to circuit. The car is called the A521, as previously mentioned. Apparently all Alpine models start with A5, and that's why that's called that, the 21 obviously coming from the year. Alpine is a bit of a new team this year. They've lost Cyril Abiteboul, their team principal, and Daniel Ricciardo to McLaren, replacing him with Fernando Alonso, who recently had a bike accident, so wasn't unfortunately able to be much of a part of this livestream event. We will wait, of course, to see how they perform this year. Renault have no customer teams, so they are a bit limited on engine testing, and with AlphaTauri and Ferrari likely improving this year, it is uncertain whether or not Alpine will be able to match their 3 podium record from 2020. Aston Martin, as I mentioned, haven't launched their car yet. By the time I post this, they will have, so here are some pictures. How do I know what it looks like then? It was leaked. Alex Brunetti on Twitter, one of my favourite Italians, managed to crack Aston Martin's so-called vault and dig out a poster with the new car on it, which successfully marries green and BWT pink, which is a thing we thought wasn't going to happen, but apparently now is. Now, I have been saying for a year that green and pink are complementary colours and obviously work well together, and everyone seems to disagree, and I have no idea why. But the pink is, to be fair, kept to a little bit of a minimum on this car, just across the front edge of the front wing and down the sides, similar to how the Petronas colour is integrated into the Mercedes. Which, to be fair, utterly makes sense, because the AMR21, as it will be known, is still fundamentally a copy of the W10. It's a green-pink Mercedes. Piloted, obviously, by Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. We'll see how their season goes. It's gonna be a weird one for them. They're either going to do very well or not very well. It really depends on how they can continue to develop that car. I also don't yet know how they've decided to spend their development tokens, if they have at all yet. If the Aston Martin launches and is nothing like the poster that was leaked, I'm a bit f***ed. This is why you don't film videos based on leaks. So despite these two being the only new team names on the grid this year, there's actually not been too much to talk about. I think both cars look quite good in their liveries. Both fundamentally look the same as last year's car underneath. We don't know how Alonso or Vettel will perform. Obviously Ocon and Stroll retaining their roles, but who knows how they'll do either. Both teams fighting in the midfield, so it's impossible to really know if they'll finish 3rd or 7th. It all really depends on how their car performs, which we do not have very long to wait anymore now. I believe it's about 9 days. Testing starts on the 12th of March in Bahrain. I'm really looking forward to that. Why don't you tell me down in the comments below which of these 2 new cars you prefer? I would really appreciate it if you haven't already, clicking that subscribe button and turning the notifications on. It would really help me and the channel out. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for yet another car launch.